I'll give hundreds of them, and maybe you'll find one or two you actually kind of like. But no, so I'm in the robe, and I'm looking out at this. I mean, telling you, it's like unreal. It's so beautiful. And the crew is far away. They're doing something else. Nobody's paying attention to me. And I had this sort of, this feeling of euphoria, kind of like that feeling that you go when you go up in a swing. But it sort of was all over my arms and everything, because I was just momentarily really transported to a place that I really felt like I was anywhere but anywhere having to do with Earth. It really felt like I was in these robes and in that process that you try and dream yourself into it being real. And I got there. It was very exciting and went away pretty quickly. The only time that ever happened to me before was 38 years earlier in 1976. We went to do the Tatooine scenes in the first couple of weeks of the movie, before Harrison and Carrie came over. Alec Guinness and Tony Daniels and Kenny Baker and the rest of the crew all went to North Africa, to Tunisia. And one of the places we were filming was the Salt Flats. And the Salt Flats is just 360 degrees of white sand, because if you dig down, it's salt water. Nothing can grow there, so it's all just firmly packed, salty sand. And I'm standing there in the Luke Skywalker booths with the wrap-up things, and I didn't have my lightsaber yet, because we hadn't done that scene, and he didn't have one on the farm. But I had the floating car there, and Tony, and I don't know if Kenny was even in R2 at the time. He was probably having a tea break. But my point is, I looked out, and you know what the sun looks like. Spoiler alert, they had one. From the people that believe it's real. But you know what it looks like, minus the extra special effects one. So it's so beautiful, and the sun's going down, and I was there. I was so there. It's hard to get that feeling, because when you're in a studio and you're in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon and they're rocking it back and forth and it's cut, and then you get out and you go down the ladder and you go get tea or whatever. It's all just make-believe. And a lot of people say, well, isn't it really hard, to imagine all these things? And I think, well, it's not really any different here. Yeah, we're driving a spaceship. But I've been in tons of things where you're in a cutout of, you're supposed to be in a car, but you're in the studio, and there's a cutaway of the car, and the stagehands are rocking the car, and they're showing footage behind you. I mean, that's no different, really. You're not really out on the road. You're not really driving a truck. So it's all, tied back into the make-believe that you had in your mind as a child. So I'm open, you guys. I actually made notes. I was so sorry when Mark introduced me. I should have said, call it a conversation with Mark Hamill. If you call it a show, people are going to be expecting sets, music, witty repartee. That's not going to happen. Now, when you leave this theater and talk about it, and you will, you'll say things like, what was that? I don't know, but it wasn't a show. I've seen shows, and that wasn't one of them. I'm open to asking questions or just fielding questions here. Maybe you all can think of a question. Because you know what I thought too? Do we have those things I was going to give away? I know. Were you listening earlier? Who here can name one of my brothers or sisters' names? Amen? No help. Anybody? This man's a winner. There's always one person in college that goes, Professor, do we have to know this? That's where you're learning just for the grade, not to become any more intelligent. Do we have to know this? Yes, right here. You want... Hey, and look, it's mugshot Luke. nothing's written down, but I'm open to ideas. You know, because everyone talks about, oh, do you know what? The reason hamsters came about is I used to use that to make fun of myself in high school. Hey, hamster here. I thought it'd be a great way to sort of shed all dignity. Any semblance of dignity is gone if you're Mark Hamster. So that sort of got picked up on my Twitter. And there's a book called An Exaltation of Larks. Do you know what a group of larks is called? An exaltation. Everybody knows a gaggle of geese. You know, a flock of seagulls. Here's some more. A leap of leopards. A parliament of owls. An ostentation of peacocks. That sounds about right. They are so snobby. Here's one I love. A smack of jellyfish. A murder of crows. Hamsters. A horde of hamsters. A horde, a large group, a multitude. Multitude of marked maniacs. A mass or a crowd. Now here's the one that got me. Third definition, any nomadic group. Can you imagine 9 schools in 12 years? I was perpetually the new kid. Just when you figure out how you're supposed to dress in San Diego, you get transferred to Brooklyn, and it's like, hey, get a load of Surfing Joe over here in his powerful Levi's. So, you know, then you figure out, okay, you know, in Annandale, it was like vast regions, pullover sweater, and a tie. Then you go back to, you know, San Jose, and you get the nickname The Professor. Oh, kids are so mean. There's a voiceover actor. You know, Michael Keaton's name is not Michael Keaton. He had to change it because his real name's Michael Douglas. And there's a voiceover actor, a very good actor. His name is Josh Keaton. And I saw him the other night at Andrea Romano's retirement party. And I said, hey, Josh, wait a second. Is your real name Keaton? He goes, no, I changed it. I said, what's your real name? He said, my real name is Josh Wiener. The kids are so nice. I'm sure that was never a problem for you when you were in 4th grade, right? Yikes. So, okay, we'll have. I know what we can do more and more. So what I'd love to do is give away as many of these pictures. Hey, can you name the film I did? Can anybody name the film I did with Lee Marvin? Can anybody name the movie where I appear like this? You recognize that? It's it's Slipstream merchandising. No, they were made by a van. Somebody gave it to me at the con. I thought, so great. See how funny careers are? Now, if Slipstream had been a hit, I was playing like a real badass villain. And I said, ooh, if this goes, maybe I can, you know, snag a villain in a Bond movie. Because that's what I wanted to do. You know, I wanted to play bizarre, weird parts. That's sort of the reason I went to Broadway. Because there, you can have open auditions. In Hollywood, they think of you in concept, and they eliminate you before they actually see you get up and do what you can do. And I had a lot of stage training, so Sir Peter Hall hadn't seen Star Wars, certainly, but it's ironic because I did the play on tour, and then they moved me to the Broadway production. It was as long as I think I've ever done a play, just short of 9 months, or short of 10 months, but then they were making the movie version. And Milos Forman, fantastic director, asked my agent if I would come in and read with the actresses that were going to be cast as Constanza, which was Mozart's wife. Sure, are you kidding? Harrison was actually doing that for George. He was reading with all the Princess Leias and all the Lukes. And it's a wonderful opportunity because you're relaxed